Alright, guys. I just wanted to make a quick introduction to the four major phases, Fred, just so you kind of know why and what you're in for. So, the reason why I made this thread is to help people understand, like, really understand the control they have in their matches and in their games, just to help them make decisions, right? And the easiest way to kind of do this is to break down how you get into these situations. So when you read through the four major phases, the reason why I point it out in these four stages is because it's very hard to not see it like that once it's been, explained. And you've got to understand that the idea in my mind is we often choose our battles, right? A lot of the time we choose our battles. And it's quite rare that we actually get locked into like a fight where we have to fight to our death, right? So if you're running across the map and a team starts shooting you, it's up to you whether you want to run and get some cover. It's up to you whether you want to turn around and just shoot them there. And it's up to you if you just want to run away, keep running, right? And that's very obvious. But sometimes you've taken up a position and you see people and they start shooting at you. And then you think immediately, I've got to shoot back. But sometimes shooting back is what gets you killed because you make a lot of noise and another team comes and they start shooting at you. So it's like, hey, okay, I might want to shoot back, but I know that I don't have to hard challenge these people in the distance, right? And so what happens when you don't challenge them? Then you force them to make a decision. Do they just sit there and watch you, or do they move forward and push you, right? If you know that they're going to push you, you can use, because they have to kind of move in an unsafe way to get to you, and you can use it to your advantage. You can say, no, I'm just going to wait and just see how they react to that. If they start moving in, they might have to come out of cover and stuff like that. It might just be one of them that moves in slowly. When I play, I'm the guy that is coming out of cover a lot of times to move in slowly, but I'm trying to do it safe, right? But if they do that, they might get into a range where you're in another battle, but you don't have to fight. If they move in any closer, then they're going to lock you into a fight, and you have to fight because they're way too close for you to avoid any shots, right? But if you see it like that, you can take advantage of it rather than act as if you're, locked in from a distance and then you take insane damage and now they're pushing in for the kill because so understand that the battle phase is the phase that you actually get to take an advantage, or you get the opportunity to gain an advantage. And if you see that opportunity slipping away, then maybe you want to retreat, maybe you want to take a break from the fight, and as a team, this is very, very, handy to know, rather than you go in and everyone's just trying to take care of themselves and deal more damage and scream out who they've cracked and how much damage they've taken, and no one's moving in unison. So when you play your games, after reading the thread, when you play your games, first understand, are we in battle? Are we just like imposing a threat where we're not shooting, or we're just shooting for free and they're not really looking at us? Do you want to move in and get into a battle with them, or do you want to stay where you are? And once you get better at seeing that, then you can break it down even further, right? And do it with individuals. You can say, hey, we're in a battle as a team, but right now one of their guys is so far away from us, he's kind of just imposing a threat. Whereas this guy who's right behind this wall I'm about to be locked in a fight with him. And if your team understands that, they can say, we need to kill this guy behind the wall first, because the rest aren't even a threat yet. Even though it's happening very, very quickly and in very tight spaces, you can still make sense of this if you can see it. So I think it's very important form your own ways of understanding the battlefield. But this is a great place to start, I think. So if you have no idea, read it, make sense of it, and understand it, because it happens. And just to give you a quick example, I was in a game with a friend of mine, and the team was kind of pushing us, but there was a guy that I actually started shooting first in the distance, and so my friend started shooting him too, and I said, hey, ignore that guy, because there's a guy like right next to us who we need to deal with. And that guy was a Horizon. He used that jump pad thing, and he was in the sky, and we just killed him, right? But it would have been very different if I was the only one shooting the Horizon and my friend was still shooting the guy in the distance. And once we like understood that, it just made everything make a lot of sense, And so look for these opportunities in your game. They come and go very fast. It's changing all the time, but if you can make sense of it, you're already like on your way to leveling up. So yeah, do what you will with it, but I do think this thread is important, so I hope it's a good read.